Hello everyone, so here we are, it's Sunday and it's time to work on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So I've only done a little bit since last week, which was to have a go at the weaving. This was my first attempt and my second attempt got a bit neater. So I'm just going to show you how I do it, and they'll be weaving in these last four here. And then I think I'm happy with how that flower looks. I'll leave that flower as is. And I'll start moving on to some of the other flowers. So let me show you weaving. So what I've done, I've just threaded up bright pink. It's got some bright pink in it. It does have some variation, but some of the hand-dyed wools with a milliner's needle. And then all you do is you just decide if you're going to be the weft or the warp. So across or up and down, because the two threads, which will be two different colours, will go in different directions. So I'm going to go to the side to begin with, and all I do is a long stitch from this side until I get to that point. I usually start in the middle just to get a very long stitch in, and then I work all the way up or down, whichever way. I'm a little bit diagonal there, but it doesn't matter. And then I come just next to it. And then just next to it. It's like they're really big, long satin stitches. Okay. So I'm going to fill it in, doing this exact stitch. Just going to make sure I don't come out the same hole, otherwise it will unravel. So fill it in using the exact same stitch. It doesn't matter if you have a slight gap. I can't remember if I told you last week that I originally learnt this stitch from Sue Spargo many years ago, when I had the opportunity to have a class with Sue. And I was like starstruck. It was like meeting a celebrity. So that's when I first learnt it. And then I also, like I see Fleur doing it all the time, Fleur Woods. I didn't exactly learn it from Fleur, but I certainly used it when I was doing Fleur's class, because she uses it and it's really beautiful. So yeah, I also did it with Kath Durst, who used to own the Happen Store from Prince Charming. And the Happen Store used to design the fabrics Prince Charming. Yeah, I've done it with Kath as well quite a while ago when she had the Happen Store, and I did do I used to do workshops there quite regularly. I loved going there. I wish Kath had another studio, but unfortunately that one closed. Yeah, she might open another one day. It's just so expensive, isn't it, rent? So it's why a lot of studios close. And I've learnt proper weaving from Natalie Miller down in the Southern Highlands. I've had a class with her, proper weaving on a loom. Okay. So I've come up into there. That's enough for there. I'm going to come down. And yes, there'll be a big long back stitch on the back. It doesn't really matter. Just coming across. I've got my little muslin there, so I'm going to need to work around that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is come up to it. And you can see here that the weaving's gone around the muslin. And then on the other side, weaving is a reasonably quick way to fill a large space, and it looks wonderful. And what Fleur does, say for example, see the edges of the fabric there? She often does weaving from the edge of the fabric, like just in the fabric a little bit, over the edge, so it like blends. You can't really tell that it's different fabrics. She kind of, I guess, weaves over the edges, and that looks fantastic. You can see that in her work. I'm just going to finish off on this side. It's a little bit to go down here, and then I'll fill in the other side. Now I have done a little bit of invisible stitch, mostly on this side. I've stitched all this down. I've just started working up into here, and then eventually I'm going to need to move my snap frame so that I can invisible stitch the whole piece down. So as you can see, in all these weeks, Rachel's worked much harder than me. She's been on a little bit each day, which I really should be doing. But I am preparing for the Sydney destash market. I've decided to destash because I have a lot that can be destashed. So I've been doing a lot of prep for that lately. It's on next Sunday at Petersham Town Hall. I was lucky enough to get a stall, so I'll be at that. And I've been trying to go through my stuff, and I've pulled out quite a lot, but I'll do more of that this week. I feel like I've got a decent amount to sell so far. All I do is destash and then buy other people's destash so I can get more. But what will I have there? I've got a lot of fabrics. I've got a lot of old Tilda fabrics. Once upon a time, Rach and I did a quilt for Homespun magazine, and they gave us a lot of Tilda fabric, and some of it I've used. A lot of it I use. We used Tilda in the quilt, but there's quite a bit that I didn't use. So I'm destashing that. I've just kept a few favourite patterns, and I've got like fat 8s and fat quarters that I haven't used. I'm even going to come down around here. So I'm destashing a bit of Tilda. Then just random fabrics. Some I've just changed my taste, or I've got, a few kid-like fabrics. Most of my kid-like ones I've donated to Sewing Basket over the years, but I've found a few more that, were probably bought with the intention of making Jamie something. He's 19 now. He doesn't need kid fabric, Star Wars fabric, a little bit of that kind of stuff. And then I definitely have some things like laces because I've got so many. So I'm destashing, keeping my favourites, but destashing. What else have I got? I don't know. There's quite a lot of stuff. Like old like I used to buy things like corduroy fabric to make softies for Jamie and things like that. And like things like synthetic felts, because I don't like synthetic ones anymore. I only like either nice bamboo ones or ones with some wool in them. So I'm keeping my ones that I like, and I'm going to destash the synthetic ones, which some people like to use. So, and everything's going to be cheaper than what you would normally buy it for. Like I've bought a lot of these bits and pieces, and I'm going to be selling them for cheaper. Yeah, so you could get yourself a bargain. So I think I'm going to use, did I use that one? I think I used that one. Out of my little wool bowl that I got going on at the moment. Yeah, so mum's coming down. She's going to help me with the destash. Actually, she's given me a huge bag of Japanese fabrics. Mum used to love Japanese fabrics. She gave me a whole bag of them. I'm going to make them into, like, a lot of them are little scraps. Some are bigger pieces, but lots of little scraps. I'm going to make them into little scrap packs, which are good for like the little bowl that I just had in front of you. I used Mum's old Japanese scraps for that. They're good for just doing slow stitching, making a journal cover, that kind of thing. So I have got lots of little scrap packs of lace, like little bits of lace, perfect for slow stitching at destash, and also fabric scraps, which are perfect for slow stitching at the destash. So just come up on the outside, on the edge, wherever you want to start. Like I said, I'll go one way, then I'll come back the other. Now, the tip that I learnt, I think this was from Sue, yes, is to turn your needle around, so don't use the sharp point because you'll continually split your fibres. Use the blunt end. Now, this can be a little challenging, but you've got to go over and under each thread. So there's a little thread there. I'm going to go over the first one, under the second one. And can I just say, this looks super messy until you've done a bit. It looks terrible, I think. And then once you got some going, then it starts to look good. And once you're into these bigger stitches, eventually you might be able to go over and under more than one. But for the first round, I'm just going to go over and under each one just to make sure I get them all, because it is very easy to miss a stitch or accidentally go under or over two. I'm going to bring it right up to here. And I've got a little stitch there. I'll just go over that little guy. And all you do there is you just go down through the fabric where your stitch will end. Now, if you don't go down at the end of each little run and you just start working back, this is actually loose and you can pull it up by going in and out of the fabric the way I'm going to do. Starting, you're actually attaching all the weaving down. And doing it that way and coming up is actually another technique that you can use for weaving. You could do it that way. Just making sure I'm on camera still. Down a little bit. Just making sure you're focused. It's so easy to get off camera. My grey mat slides on this table I'm on. And I find it very easy to get myself off camera at the moment. I actually had someone suggest that I didn't zoom in so much because I went off camera, but I feel like when I'm demonstrating things like this, if I'm zoomed out, unless you're always watching on a TV, which not everyone would be. For example, Mum, she only watches on an iPad. She likes when she comes over and she's watching it on my TV. It'd be really tiny if it was only on an iPad or a phone. Yeah, you can see it doesn't look great yet, but it gets better. There's a little stitch there which I can't seem to see. Or maybe I just went under two at the beginning. I might have done that. See, that's how easy it is to do. And then we go back through. Okay. He's sitting right under me. Okay, just checking him on camera. Okay, so I'm going to come up again. I'm just coming up beyond that first stitch. You got to keep finding them, the little stitches. You can actually, if you want to, space them out a bit further so they're easier to find. I've got mine fairly close together, which makes for some nice tight weaving. I'm just going to, hang on, I'm just seeing if I can get a little stitch there. Oh, it's hard. Got it. Still not looking great yet, but it gets better. You can see the stitches, the ones I'm doing right now, a little bit apart, but they do end up pushing together. So now I'm going to come down here. And what you find as you go along, you start to have less threads to go over. Like I'm down into this little small bit now. So there's not so many threads for me to go over and under anymore. I can get one more in there. Do it this way, so I'm using my right hand. Got it. Okay, that's as much as I can do there. Just about getting to the end. I might be able to do one, maybe two more rows of weaving before I come back here and start working that direction. Sorry, Alfie. Okay. I think I'm only going to get one row here. It's a bit tight. I think I've gotten slightly different thread colours, or maybe I've just got a different part of the variegation. Okay, back over here now. I kind of feel like this doesn't look great until you've finished it, the weaving, but eventually it should look good. Hi, Bobby. She's just come in the window. Okay, I might pop off the camera and just finish this weaving. I'll come back right towards the end because otherwise I'm just weaving and I'm not talking. Okay, so I'll come back. See you soon. Okay, so this part of the weaving's done. I have used I used the correct thread going that way, but this way I have used a different one. Sorry, let me focus. But I don't think that matters too much because you do get some variation in some petals anyway. So I might deliberately use it again, for example, over here. So I might go back to those colours for those two and then deliberately go over there. So it's not an accident. It was an accident, but it won't be an accident. All right, so that's my weaving. I will continue this off camera and I will show you it finished next week. So next week, obviously I've got a lot of work to do. I won't be working on all of that. I'll just go gradually, and as I go along, I'll show you bits and pieces. But next week we're up to the second prompt for the table. So unless I decide to get a whole bunch more tonight, that will be it. And I will see you again next week. I'm going to pack some more destash stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.